Hey, what's up guys? So tier lists have started to blossom up again and well, they kinda always been a thing. So I thought to myself, hey, let's make a tier list. Very original. Anyways, today we're taking a look at Overwatch's tanks and I have Gjojo, which is an absolutely splendid coach, and a link to his Twitch channel will be posted in the description below. So make sure to give him some credit for this as well. Anyways guys, let's get this tank tier list going. So at first here, I'm just gonna slam it right down. Hammond. I think that Hammond is absolutely going to fit in on the S tier here because he absolutely dominates the meta right now.
You are indeed correct. Hammond is actually insane in comp right now. The only thing that prevents Hammond from being like double S plus tier insane is Sombra pretty much. But there are ways to deal with Sombra as a Hammond player. They might be a little bit high level, but as long as you keep track of where she is and maybe learn how to like go out of ball form while you're in the air and like shoot her so you can prevent hacks and stuff, there are ways to play around her. And Hammond absolutely abuses Rein Zarya to the point of not being able to play them at all. So definitely a good pick in the S tier. I don't think anyone can contest him up there.
Yeah, exactly. And you also got to put in mind, you know, that you have your team with you that will probably also help you spy check the Sombra.
Exactly.
So if you are Hammond and you're going in for that pal drive, and the Sombra comes out of blue and try to hack you, you might have, you know, your any DPS player, any support that can quickly tap her to interrupt the hack. So yeah, I agree, Hammond is absolutely uncontested up there. So we've gone through S now, we're moving down to A. What heroes do you think where should we put the heroes in A tier?
A tier, I would say the like both very popular off tanks that we know and love, D.Va and Zarya, fit there. They're very versatile, like both D.Va and Zarya. They can play with either a Reinhardt or a Winston, and they synergize fairly well with both of them. So just having that flexibility of being able to play with both very popular main tanks is a really good thing. D.Va might be a little bit higher than Zarya because D.Va works as in more comps. So like you can play D.Va with Hammond, you can play D.Va with Rein, you can play D.Va with Winston, and you could even play D.Va with Roadhog as some kind of like counter dive composition.
Also Orisa, I would say.
Also Orisa, yeah. Oh shit, we actually forgot about Orisa. That's true.
Everyone forgets about Orisa.
Yeah, so D.Va is a close second on the tier list for sure, and Zarya coming up really close there. You can play Zarya with both Reinhardt and Winston. A little bit harder to play her effectively with Hammond and Roadhog, but they're still really strong. Both of their ultimates are like team wipe ultimates that give amazing space and can even clutch out team fights solo. So I think those two heroes deserve a spot in the A tier.
I would also say it's because both D.Va and Zarya has great capability of peeling for their teammates if their teammates need help. Like with D.Va's rocket booster, she can easily go into the fray with a main tank like Winston, but she can also quickly move from the front line to the back line if she so needs to. And Zarya can easily help out a support. Like let's take Mercy here. Like if Mercy tries to res in a very hectic fight, Zarya can easily bubble the Mercy to get the res to go through.
Exactly. That's a very good point. Being able to save teammates is absolutely crucial in comp, and especially at the like mid to lower ranks, because people will be out of position more often than not. So having a bailout of jail card is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Orisa, where the hell do we put Orisa?
Yes, that is a very good question. With the rise of bunker comps now that they have actually buffed, nerfed Lucius speed boost, and at the same time buffed the other heroes like Junkrat and the likes, Torbjorn has become much tankier due to his 50 HP and is pretty fucking strong against dive nowadays. So I think like in comp, bunkers are absolutely atrocious to deal with. Not even like 4K plus teams know how to deal or how to break bunkers effectively.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know.
Indeed, the scrim experience is a disaster. So in comp, it's even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Orisa definitely deserves a pretty high spot in A. Maybe a little bit below D.Va because she is a little bit less versatile. Like you can only play bunker with Orisa and nothing else. D.Va fits in a few more spots. So if you're a D.Va player, you can pretty much play her every game. But in Orisa, you need some specific positions, specific maps, and a specific team comp behind you.
Exactly.
But she's still so strong.
That is very true, actually. I have actually nothing to add on there. You basically covered most of it. The only thing I can say is that you can play Orisa sometimes on certain maps with the pull hook combo. But yeah, it's, as you mentioned, very, very specific. So I absolutely agree with the positioning of Orisa there.
The pull hook combo is actually a very good point to add as well. It is a very easy combo to execute, and especially in comp where people are going to be a bit cocky and not respect it enough, you will get a lot of free picks.
Yeah, it's basically a kill confirmed, actually.
Indeed it is.
All right. What about the other main tanks? Like, I do love myself a Reinhardt shield, and a Winston bubble I won't say no to either.
Well, yeah, they're still really fucking good. Of course, you've got goats that you see so much in Overwatch League, or the 3-3 composition as they like to call it.
Yeah.
The tank ability of a Reinhardt, if you have the correct comp together with him to support him, to aid him in his aggressiveness, then you'll see a lot of success with Reinhardt in comp for sure. More often than not, you're not gonna get a full goats comp with the 3 supports and the three tanks to support your Rein, but just having a very skilled Ana together with you to help you with like nades and nanos to help you be aggressive can actually deal quite some serious damage to the enemy team. So exactly. Reinhardt and Winston, they're both still strong, but they're not as oppressive as the bunkers and not as disruptive as the Hammond. So they're also way less versatile than our lovely Divas and Zaryas, the off tanks. So exactly. We'll put them in the B tier, I believe.
Yeah, it's also most likely that Hammond just right now outshines the other main tanks so much. Like, and with also the growth of the quadruple DPS and triple DPS combos, Reinhardt is very much more limited with because of his range. And I would say that Winston can easily get taken out because even though Winston has more HP than Orisa, let's say, I would say that Winston is absolutely the most squishy main tank out of them because he doesn't always have his protective, and his main mechanic is to leap in to hunt for the more squishy enemy targets. And with now the growth of the triple and quad DPS, I would say that Winston's position is just completely outshined by Hammond's because they kind of, not exactly, but they kind of in the fundamentals fill the same role.
Indeed.
So yeah.
Winston has a little bit more like area denial. You can actually like take over areas with Winston and help set up your support in some ways together with your bubble, and by doing so-called soft dives, so you're not actually looking to kill people, but you're just jumping into an area to get people to back off and be afraid for a few seconds, and that way create space for your team. But Hammond does the same by just like booping people away, or even going for that fat pile driver slam. And Winston just absolutely melts against bunkers. So yeah, Hammond for sure outshines him in pretty much all areas.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pray for
Winston.
Winston
Is pretty much required to have a diva with him as well. Without a diva, you absolutely melt to everything. Nobody's afraid of a solo Winston.
That is very true. That is very true. As I said, let's all pray for Winston. But yes, we are now moving down to the final tier. Right, so I think we only have one more tank here, and that's the pig. Love him, hate him, but yeah, it's Roadhog. So why do we put Roadhog so far down the tier list? What puts him aside from all the other tanks?
Well, he does not really fit the role of a tank. Kind of, he's a glorified DPS, I would say.
I like that.
He doesn't really have any kind of way to save his teammates. No peeling, no defense matrix, no bubbles, no shields. He could hook someone and save a teammate that way, but that's something that DPS heroes can do as well. They can kill the person that is trying to harass their backline, etc. But yeah, he doesn't really fill the role of a tank. He feeds a lot of ult charge. He's a really big hitbox, has a lot of HP, no armor. So yeah, just an overall weak character. The only way that his tanking ability actually works is kind of like an area denial. If the Roadhog is standing at an area, let's say maybe next to a health pack or a well-known flank route, then you as a solo flanker are gonna have a very hard time to push through that area. So in that case, Road Dogg is kind of a tank, or kind of an area denial tank, because you're gonna need a lot of teammates to push him out or to get him to get out of this area.
Yeah, I would also see Road Dogg as a wandering EXP charger, considering his high amounts of HP that he himself heals up, and that just means, okay, that's more ult charge for me. I'm just gonna keep harassing this guy.
Indeed.
But yeah, I feel like it's very true. He has a very self-centered kit focused on DPS more than peeling. Like his heal, he keeps himself alive. The hook, sure, as you said, he can hook. Any other DPS hero can, but the hook is also not 100% reliable due to if you hit someone and they get behind the wall, it's not hook 1.0 anymore. It's the new hook, and a hook will break. So it's
unless you have a diva, or sorry, not diva, Orisa. I mean, you're probably not gonna have a very good time on Roadhog.
Exactly, because sure, as we said, the Orisa pool is basically a kill confirmed. But yeah, without it, no. I think Roadhog absolutely in his current state and in the current meta overall as the worst tank. Of course, any tank is good if you know how to play them, but compared to the other tanks,
Roadhog, like in comp, has his space or his effectiveness. Like as we said with Orisa, you can still do some pretty hefty damage with the shield break and with the pull hook combo. And like if you ever encounter one of those famous comp games where you have 3 or 4 or even more DPS heroes, like a 5th or a 6th DPS hero isn't gonna help a lot. So picking, of course, Hammond is pretty much the best solo tank in the game right now, and that's another reason that we put him in the S tier. But Roadhog also works very well in one of these multi-DPS compositions, because you have the self-sustain, you can get picks by yourself, and you can be like a one-man army that somehow makes the game work.
Exactly. Of course, he has his shiny moments, but for now, I would say he lands on the C tier.
Indeed.
Alright guys, so this is our tier list for the tanks in the game's current state. It is very good to note that this list isn't made with role lock in mind. Gjojo, do you have anything you wanted to add as well?
Yeah, if as we've heard, like the guy Slasher from that has a very reputable news source from, and that has come with a lot of very reliable information about Overwatch news, has said that something big is going to come up in the next Overwatch League stage that is going to shake up the game. And as we've heard from Jeff, there will be no more balance patches for a while.
Ooh.
So this has been speculated to be role lock or some kind of 2-2-2 where you're going to have 2 tanks, 2 supports, and 2 DPS heroes. If that is the case, we're going to have to scrap this entire tier list and make a new one.
Yeah, exactly. But alright guys, so this is our current tank tier list. We'll probably make a support and DPS tier list as well, so stay tuned for that. Thank you Gjojo so much for coming, and guys, as always, I'll see you next time.